Good morning. Hey guys, I'm on my walk again. It's cold. Trying to shade my eyes. I forgot my sunglasses. Just listening to The End of Diabetes again. For this one, that'll be the second time. I got the audiobook for it on Audible, and it's a really, really great book, just like all the other ones. I like to listen to any of these books, even if they don't have to do with me, because I just learned so much, and the way he puts things differently, he says one thing in one book and another thing in the other book, and they mean the same thing, but he says them different ways for different people. So that's really helpful for me. If you guys are interested in getting Audible, please use my link down in the description, because you can get 2 free audiobooks when you sign up instead of just the regular one. If you sign up by yourself, and I get a little kickback. So anyways, look into that for an option of while you're walking or you're doing your exercise or whatever. As I told you guys, I'm going to be wavering back and forth between doing the Body Rock Challenge and walking. So when I just get sick of, I don't like to work out inside, it's annoying. I really like to be outside. That's why I went hiking yesterday, and I can't guarantee I'll get back to the Body Rock workouts anytime soon, but it'll go back and forth. But my goal is just to work out every day, no matter what that workout is. So that works for me, and that's something that I've been able to do, my entire adult life. I'll go for sometimes a week or so of not working out sometimes, but usually I do get in at least 4, 5, 6 days a week. And then a lot of the times every single day. So, but I know myself, and I know if I try to go too hard on anything, then I'm likely to give up. Yeah, just take care of yourself, especially this time of year. Getting in a walk every day can at least offset some of the damage we're doing to ourselves by doing all the Christmas and Thanksgiving stuff. There's like lots of crap at people's offices and things like that. It's so hard to avoid. I know from experience. Okay, well, this is my walk for this morning. Talk to you guys later. Bye. Oh, I forgot a comment I wanted to make about exercising. So throughout the years, I've lived in a lot of different places. New York City, Michigan, Florida, Paris, Italy, and then a very small town in France, Phoenix, Vegas. Lived in a lot of different places, and those places all have very different climates. But one thing that has been consistent is the fact that I always walk wherever I live. I used to live in a city called Aurillac, France, which is like almost right in the middle of France. But it's at such a high elevation. It's the highest elevation city in France, actually, which means it's very cold. And I used to work as a English teaching assistant, and I used to live on one side of the city, and my schools were on the other side. But I would walk to school every single day, mostly because I don't like public transportation, because I always feel like, well, I'm sitting here waiting 20 minutes for the bus. I could be 20 minutes down the road already. I always felt like I could walk as fast as a bus would take, because you have to wait, and then you've got all these local stops and blah, blah, blah. I just hate public transportation if I don't have to take it. So I used to walk every day to school and back, which is a 45-minute walk from my house to school, and then 45 minutes home. And I always told myself, because I lived right next to a bus stop, I was like, well, if it ever gets too cold, or if I ever feel like I can't do it anymore, I'll just get a bus pass and I'll start taking the bus. But that day never came. Because I'm from Michigan, I'm used to layering a ton of clothes, having waterproof shoes, whether they're galoshes or, nice hiking boots that have Gore-Tex or whatever it is. But I would always make the investment to have enough clothes to be able to do a walk. And so when I lived in France, that was what I did. I had so many different layers. I would always bring so many layers. If it was raining or slushy, I would have these, waterproof shoes and things like that. So what I'm trying to say is you don't have to walk to work every day. What I'm trying to say is nobody really has much of an excuse to not go for a walk every single day outside, or if you clearly if you have access to a treadmill inside or something, that's better. But I always preferred exercising outside, so I would find a way to make sure that I could do it. And you can do it too, even if it's just a mile or 2 miles or 6 miles. You can walk every day, no matter what is going on. If it's raining, we have raincoats for that, and umbrellas, big huge umbrellas and galoshes and things like that. Besides, if you time your walk at a time where you don't have to be somewhere, you can go home and warm up with some, hot tea and a shower or whatever, which is what I typically do. But just trying to give you motivation that you don't have to feel so trapped when it's the winter time, because I know what that's like. And here I am in 45-degree weather with bare hands holding the phone, but have gloves with me and I can put them back on as soon as I'm done with this video, kind of a thing. Have a hat, have a scarf. You can take off any of these things if you get too hot, etc. But what I'm trying to tell you is you have no excuse. You should always try to think about your exercise and take care of yourself first, no matter what nature is doing. Even if it's a slushy snow that's coming down and it's kind of gross, you can still wear waterproof things as if it was raining. I know it's harder if it's pouring, like I remember in Florida. My God, those torrential rainstorms were crazy, and I usually wouldn't go out walking during that time, but sometimes I actually did. I would do it on the beach and just, when it's warm out, but so bring things with you. You can do that. Like you can, they say that one of the risk factors for heart disease and all of the things that plague our society, heart disease, stroke, diabetes, etc., one of the risk factors is not exercising. But to get rid of that risk factor, the only thing you need to do is walk for 22 minutes a day. That's it. Every single day, but just 22 minutes. That's not very long. It doesn't even say like how fast. Just go out for a walk, 22 minutes. Anyone can do that. So, all right, that's my soapbox. See you guys later. Starting off with some green tea. Breakfast is served, guys. Same breakfast I always have. And I'm doing it a little bit earlier than normal today because I'm just hungry today, probably because of the hike yesterday. So I was trying to hold it out a little bit longer till like 11 or 12 when I usually have lunch lately, but then I thought that might actually set me up for failure later if I get too cravey because I was hungry all day. So I'm just having food now, and I'll let you know what I do later. Day 2 of the challenge is going great so far. Yesterday was perfect. I didn't do exactly what the challenge said, of course. I told you guys I wasn't going to do breakfast exactly that way, and I had a little extra fruit because of the hike, but it was good. I'm feeling really good. Got my exercise in today, and we're doing good so far. So remember that time I said I wasn't going to have any of the family cookies this year because like challenge and stuff? Well, I actually did have to test them to see if they were any good. They're perfect. But let's see if I can get through with just having one. Okay. Ever since I was a kid, they actually used to be anise flavored. I do not like anise. It's basically licorice flavor. The cookies are typically anise flavored, but in the early 2000s, most of the family members were like, can we have a different flavor? So we changed them to almond flavor because, whoa, so good. So we've been making them almond for a while, and yeah. Every year I want to end up, I want to do 2 separate batches, so we have anise and almond, but they're just so much work. They take 3 days to make. And at least 2 hours. When you make the dough, it takes about 2 hours. Then you have to leave it out, then you put in the fridge. Then you have to make the actual cookies, and that takes about 2 hours, and then the next day you bake them. And so they're pretty labor intensive. And then once I get to around every year to thinking, oh, I'm going to do both, I'm always like, oh my God, I can't do both. It's too much. But yeah, so I'm about halfway done with baking them now, and we have a pretty good yield this year. And I think next year I'll probably end up actually sharing the recipe, maybe, but I'm thinking about it, not sure. But Merry Christmas, guys. If you celebrate Christmas, happy holidays, or happy December if you don't celebrate any of that stuff. But I hope you guys are having a good season, winter season, and talk to you soon. I'm going to have lunch really soon. All right, guys, here's lunch. Almost the same as yesterday. I'm having more of the chili that I made, lentil stew thing, and I'm making my regular kale salad today with a bunch of portobello mushrooms in it. Time to eat. We're considering this, you guys. Problem is, we're also considering bread that's in the freezer. Ooh, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Huh? What do you think? You don't know? Alright guys, today was a very challenging day and it's only day 2. I was this close to going and having some toast with peanut butter on it today. I don't really know what stopped me. I mean, I was so close, you guys. So this morning, what I had to do, or I actually did this last night after we were finished making the cookies, I threw out the rest of the eggs down the disposal, like I typically do when I need to get rid of a food that I don't want to binge on. Having eggs around is bad for me because I have a childhood food that I'm in love with, which is another German recipe called, we call them Spätzles, but it's like Spatzel or something in German. Spatzel or something like that. I don't know. I don't speak German, but it's these big, fat homemade noodles, and you just make them out of like flour, milk, and egg, and salt, and then you know, you make them in boiling water. They're fat, amazing, except what I then do is fry them in butter and eat them that way. Guys, I even have a recipe for something similar on my site, which is a Hungarian recipe, which is similar, called nokedli. You can look up for it on YouTube if you're really interested. I don't recommend it because they're super addicting, but so whenever I have eggs in the house, I'm always thinking that I'm one step away, like 15 minutes away from having Spätzles at my house, and that is a problem. So I try to make sure I never have eggs. Not to mention I'm trying to stay vegan lately, but I'm not perfect. I've been doing well, but I'm really just trying to be 100% vegan if possible. And then the bread, that's another thing. So I really wanted the toast tonight. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to run out and I just need to pick up a couple things. And I'm going to... Really? Oh yeah? Here we go. What? Really? ¿Qué pasa? Hi. So I'm going to run out and get a couple things, which is going to serve to be a good distraction for me. And while I'm away, I'm going to throw out the loaf of bread that I have in the freezer so I have no more temptations at the house. The only thing I have is the dark chocolate that I have, which I don't typically binge on. I just had a half a chocolate bar today, which is probably a little bit too much, but I don't mind it, you know, very much. So overall today, if I do make it out of the house by getting rid of the bread, I will have had a really good second day. For me, at least. It's not perfect, and it's not kind of exactly what I wanted for this detox challenge, but at least I'm staying on track. And I'm just kind of doing this more relaxed, using it as a guide for me to decide recipes. And I'm kind of actually also doing research, you guys, for creating my own products like this. I really want to make a series of these types of challenges because I think, like, I know for me at least, I just need to be told what to do. Just tell me exactly what to make and I don't have to think about it, you know? That's what really helps. So I'm using this particular 10 days of the detox challenge to just make it so I don't have to think as much
and this remember like some of the salads and some of the dishes that are in there so that I can have those in my mind to recall whenever I'm thinking of what to cook. Like those lazy lentils I made yesterday, it's so easy to make. You just throw some vegetables and lentils in a pot and let it cook for a minute, and very easy. I mean, it takes an hour, but most of it's the cooking time, barely any prep time. So I want to be able to have recipes like that in my head. And I'm also kind of researching how to make something like this as easy as possible. Because personally, guys, and I think I talked about this when I did the first round of this, I don't think that challenge is very easy. It feels like it's kind of for a intermediate cook even. It takes a lot of work. You basically have to do 3 completely new meals every single day. First of all, I don't eat 3 times a day normally. And I work from home and I barely have time to do that challenge, and it takes over my whole life when I'm doing it. So I want to create a challenge for you guys that incorporates all of the things that we all always talk about, saving time, saving money, not a ton of ingredients, easy to make recipes, that kind of thing I'm interested in making. Something that I would want to do, So if you have any comments or thoughts, let me know down below on something you might be interested in as far as a challenge goes. What would help you the most? I mean, I want to do the grocery lists and things like that as well, because that I find very valuable. And I'm thinking of maybe 30 to 42 days, 4 or 6 weeks or something like that of a challenge. Maybe just start off with a shorter one or something so I can create some recipes for you guys and some grocery lists and stuff like that. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is let me know down below if you have any thoughts on what you might be interested in purchasing from somebody like me. Would a challenge like that interest you? Like the challenge I'm doing now, only just easier. So let me know what you guys think. I'm going to run to the store and I'm going to free myself from the bread. The other thing is that whenever I have bread around the house, I typically, like, if there's butter at the house along with the bread, I'm screwed. Like, I will eat the entire loaf I'll just toast up 8 slices. I'll eat it in a row. And so today, when I was thinking of having some bread, some toast, I was like, well, the only thing I really have is peanut butter and jelly, which I love, don't get me wrong, but I don't love it as much as just bread and butter. Just like toast and butter. So I was like kind of hesitating a bit and like trying to imagine, all right, what's that going to be like when I have the peanut butter and bread? Is it going to be amazing? And I was like, I probably won't like it after about 6 or 7 bites. And then, I was kind of like going through all these mental things, like how do I get myself through this? And then I was like, you know what, drink a full glass of water, go have the dark chocolate that you're thinking about having, see how you feel after that. And after I did that, there was like 15 or 20 minutes later, and bam, it went away. I was like, oh, I'm free from this craving. It was amazing. So I kind of had to go through a lot of like tools in my mind to get through that one today, but I'm going to make it easier on myself and get rid of that bread. We have Mortal Kombat going on over here. But the other, sorry, my bed is a mess here. This is fun. The other thing that really, really threw me off was that, I'm just holding this over here to see if we can catch something funny. Usually, like, once I start videotaping, that's when they stop, of course. But, so the thing that really threw me off today was having the cookies in the house. When I tried one of them, it was like all over. And I forgot to tell you guys, I had like maybe 7 or 8 of those cookies, which for me is actually not a lot when I make those cookies. Like last year, I think I probably had 20 in the beginning. But this year I only had like 7 or 8. And I'm going to ship these off to my family tomorrow. So I'm going to package them up tonight, get them out of my life, and then I'll have no bad food in the house left. So, yeah, that's that's kind of where I am. I'm going to save some for my husband, and I'm going to try to hide them for myself and, guilt myself into being like, well, if you eat them all, he won't have any until next year, whatever. So wish me luck with that, you guys. But I'm only going to save like 10 of them for us, I think, and then ship them off. And that really I think that was what really set me on the spiral, because Fuhrman always says that if anyone was to ever engineer a recipe that would cause obesity, heart disease, cancer, diabetes, stroke, all of the things that kill people, it would be cookies. That is the one recipe that would kill you because of the flour, the sugar, and those are just like refined kind of stuff. It's like total processed junk food. So I'm going to really try to resist those cookies as much as possible, but that's what really set me on the spiral, you guys. I think it was probably blood sugar stuff because of the cookies and, the flour and stuff. I'm not used to having that. Also, I'm coming into my cycle again pretty soon, so hormones are kind of going out of whack a little bit and stuff, but I'm going to just try to keep on track as much as I can for the next, I guess it's 8 days now. So, thanks for letting me ramble. That was my update for the challenge. Hey guys, I love today's Nutritarian nugget. It comes from Eat to Live by Dr. Fuhrman. There's a link for it down below. I want to talk a little bit about true hunger versus toxic hunger. So when we talk about toxic hunger, we're actually talking about the hunger that everyone feels, like a stomach pains, you get irritable, you get headaches, you get all these kinds of things. That's not real hunger. That's just addiction withdrawal, like literally. And so when you are eating a nutritarian diet, you get closer and closer and closer to something called true hunger, where you finally start to feel all the time and you never have that addictive hunger anymore. And I have to say, from experience, I was a massive skeptic about many of the details in this book when I first read it 3.5 years ago, about what my true weight should be, around what my weight should be, what true hunger versus toxic hunger, being vegan versus having some meat, kind of things like this. Like, it took me a long time to warm up to a lot of the concepts in here. But I have to say that after this amount of time, I finally do experience true hunger and no longer experience toxic hunger. I just don't. I used to be one of the most irritable, crabby people when I got hungry. And now I just have this, it's like I just get this feeling all over here that's just like, I gotta eat. Like, I have to put something in my body now and must eat. I don't get that, like, I'm dying. I feel so lightheaded. I feel so faint. I feel so hungry. And I used to get that every single day, every day. And I don't get that anymore because I get enough nutrients and I get enough fiber and all that kind of stuff. And, I'm a real nutritarian when it comes to that kind of detox. But it takes a long time to get there. And it's hard to notice because it's not gnawing. It's not like that crazy feeling. It's not super physical. It's very subtle. And you're like, I should eat. And then I still have this feeling, I could wait an hour to cook and then make the food and then eat it. Whereas before it'd be like, I have to find something to eat right now. And that's where all the snacking comes in. Like, you have to have some almonds real quick, or you have to have crackers, or make a bowl of cereal because you can't wait to create a proper meal and eat that. So I wanted to just mention this little paragraph here that says, the symptoms of true hunger. This is found on page 154. Enhanced taste sensation, increased salivation, and a throat sensation that's sort of gnawing. Now, I just said it wasn't gnawing, but I mean, like, it's not like that crazy, your stomach's going to turn over and, turn into a robot or something. Like, it just is like, I got to eat something. This is my favorite part. True hunger requires no special food to satisfy it. It is relieved by eating almost anything. So the tip here is that you can't crave some particular food and call that hunger. A craving, by definition, is an addictive drive, not something felt by a person who's not an addict. A health-supporting diet is not addicting. You don't have to carry around a calculator and scale to figure out how much to eat. A healthy body will give you the correct signals. To achieve an ideal weight and consume the exact amount of calories to maintain a lean body mass that will prolong your life, you must get back in touch with true hunger. Eat when hungry and don't eat when not hungry. But this idea, because I heard this from a friend when I was first starting out, she had heard this in Weight Watchers, this idea that, like, all right, if you're hungry and you think to yourself, if I had an apple right now, would it help this hunger? If you think no, you're craving. If you think yes, you're hungry. So if you're thinking of something, because I know whenever I'm having a craving, it's usually after a meal. It's like, I could have a full glass of water and make myself super full, and I still kind of am like, I could go for something else. That's not hunger. I just had a full crazy bowl of soup and a massive salad. That's just a craving, I'm still addicted to sweets. I'm still addicted to, carbs and refined stuff. I'm still working through those things. But when it comes to actually deciding when to eat when I'm hungry, I have those true hunger feelings that don't come in the belly. They come in the throat and the upper, sort of an upper chest feeling too, a little bit, all up here. So just keep that in mind as you're going through your days. If you are hungry, could you eat an apple and satisfy it? Ask yourself this. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I hope this was a good one. I will see you tomorrow. Please comment. I love when you guys comment. I love having discussion, and subscribe, of course, and share this with your friends if you really like these videos and you feel like you get something out of them. Also, what I mean by share is, would you please share them on your Facebook page? If you actually find one that you really like, would you throw the link up on the Facebook page and send your friends to it and tell them to subscribe too? That'd be really awesome. Thanks so much for your support, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!